we're going to talk a little with Orion Weiss, who is here for a couple of days teaching at the festival. And we've been talking off camera. You and Rachel almost were classmates at Juilliard.
Yes, one year apart. We nearly met, but now we're really meeting, which is nice. Yes.
Right here on camera. What a beautiful thing. So we're glad we could trick you into coming for 2 days.
Oh no, this is where people come, where pianists come to meet. Is this the place?
Absolutely right. This is the place to be. So where were you just, and where are you going to?
We caught you in transit, living out of my suitcase for a while. I was just in Minnesota playing with the orchestra, and now I'm going to Colorado Springs tomorrow. So I was so happy. So Alessio is a good friend of mine, and when he reached out to me, and I would have loved to be more involved, but I couldn't. So then finding a way to just get here was so exciting for me.
Well, and routing-wise, it works really well, right? Minneapolis, Dallas, Colorado Springs. It kind of
doesn't usually work like that,
sense, right?
You didn't have as much trouble getting here, like we all.
I got really lucky. I heard about people landing in Houston when they're supposed to land in Dallas.
Yeah. Okay, that's.
We had a little weather.
Yes.
Just a tiny bit of weather. So. In Minnesota, you were playing one concerto, but you're en route to play another one, right?
Yes. That's how. I guess that's how it is. I mean, but never the repertoire that the people do here is so much more compact and intense. Whenever I have a week between concertos, I'm like, oh, that's fast. But these people, at the Cliburn, they do back to back, and they do 2 recital programs.
Absolutely,
it's incredible.
So, what do we have you doing here? We had you doing a little teaching, right?
Yes, I did some lessons today, and actually a meeting with all the festival participants, sort of just talking about, just because I'm older than them, not that I have any special ideas, but just telling them, at least what I experienced in my short career so far.
What did you tell them? What did you tell them that you've experienced in your career?
I guess I tried to express that no 2 paths will ever be the same, and that, of course, since what we're doing is a long tradition, it's important to emulate and look up to and take things from our predecessors in music, but you also have to just be yourself, because as soon as you're able to accept what you do as being special and integral to your own personality, then you stop comparing yourself to other people.
Was that easy for you? I'm just curious, as a classmate or as a colleague, like, was there a moment where you figured out what you were about, or was it a process?
I have no idea what I'm about. But I feel like if I could, I'm on that quest to try and find it, and then just, I don't know if there was a moment. I mean, you're still like, oh, I wish I could play a campanella like that, but you sort of wish that, and then you go do what you can do on your own thing. Yeah.
Rachel and I have said so many times, both on and off camera, in these past 2 days, that these contestants have really shown their personalities through their programming, actually, and they've been so courageous in the things that they have chosen to program. I mean, we had a fire breather playing the Bartok Etudes Opus 18, followed immediately by somebody who played the last movement of the Schubert Little A major sonata, and then this beautiful Chopin mazurka. So we've had a real balance of that, and I think we've had very few contestants who have felt that I must play this or I must play that. So maybe we're making progress on that front, that very thing that you and Rachel are talking about, that play to your strengths.
There's something about, that I can tell. I didn't ever think I'd actually even end up here. I always watch the broadcast, so I'm excited to be sitting here. But something about the lights on that stage, they're hot, and there's all this focus, and so maybe it's like a kiln that forges people, and so you have to be brave to get up there and do this, and they're really bringing their personalities and their creativity.
They really are.
Yeah.
So I think we're maybe getting post that time where I must play Petrushka, or I must do this, or I must do that. There's not a standard anymore. Everything's going to be maybe a little more of a melting pot. I hope so,
because, and also for the jurors to be more open-minded, I think in terms of repertoire, it's like you should be able to judge Stravinsky, Serenade and a Chopin mazurka next to the Liszt Mephisto waltz. I mean,
right, and all of that virtuosity, or I must play Petrushka, or I must play Islami, that's getting a little passé if a 13-year-old can come out and play Catenaire,
Yes.
then that question is getting a little old.
Since I'm sort of-
virtuosity is a given.
Yes.
You know, so
I didn't know those Tchaikovsky variations.
I didn't either.
None
They're
of us
so
did.
great.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so beautiful.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just like you discover something in a preliminary round. It's amazing. Yeah.
You really do.
Beautiful
You really,
music, yeah.
you really do. So, what is your life like? Do you split it between orchestrates and chamber music and recitals? I mean, how much of each is there, and is it a
it's
balancing
like
act?
Before I was in Minnesota, I had a week where I played a recital where I played my Opus 111 Beethoven for the first time. So I was that was like I was looking forward to that, climbing that peak, and
What did it feel like?
it felt like a mountain, and it was and I'm going to Colorado, so I'll get to see real mountains. And then in between that, I played a recital with a violinist. We played we're doing a project of all Mozart sonatas. So and then I did Brahms quintet.
How many are there?
There's-
19, 20?
There's like, it depends how many what you want to count, because he wrote a bunch when he was like 5 and 6 and 7, 8, and so I think we're not going to play those, even though they're amazing too. But like maybe 18, 19, something like that. There's a lot.
And there's some there are some ones that really
Not
require, like
played,
the big A major sonata. That's
We did that one on last Wednesday.
You have to pay attention during that one.
That's like about as virtuosic as it
It
gets.
is a piano sonata,
Right.
Piano
with
and
violin.
violin,
Yes.
Yeah,
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So,
So
is
yeah,
it,
it's like I was telling the kids today, it's sort of like a quilt of some teaching, some chamber music, some playing with violinists, some with cellists, some with orchestras, some by myself.
Do you have a favorite for you? Your personal?
I love going back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Like, for instance, I'm doing this program coming up where we're going to play the last violin sonata, Opus 96 of Beethoven. Then I'm going to play Opus 101 piano sonata, and then I'm going to do Opus 102, the last cello sonata, Opus 102, number 2, and then 97, the Archduke Trio. So it's
that's one program?
Yes, one program. It's
Then
gonna
you're
be a
going to
really
go
long
home and
program.
collapse,
I'm gonna-
right?
Yes,
You're going to be a little.
I'm going to hibernate after
You're
that.
going to need a little TV.
That's very rich.
I think you're
yeah.
going to need a little TV after
But it was
that.
my idea, and I just thought, well, it all balance. You learn from chamber music, you learn how to play your solo
I
music.
think that's really
yeah.
interesting for the audience.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
you'd hear a program like that.